Hello and welcome to our special review of Avengers Age of Ultron. We're here at the Tottenham Court Road Odeon Cinema to talk you through Joss Whedon's latest Marvel blockbuster.
That's the best you can do!
So Emma, first reactions after seeing Avengers, what did you think?
You know, I was so just wildly entertained by it that my initial reaction was extremely positive, and it's only as I've sat with it more that I've started to notice not all of it hung together for me. But I mean, Joss Whedon is so good with ensemble cast that it's just there's so much going on with all the characters here that I was pretty thrilled when I first saw it. How about you?
For me, it's not quite up there with the best of the Avengers movies. So possibly, you know, you've got Guardians, which I thought was great, came out last year. The original Avengers. This one's maybe just a shade below that, but you know, still incredibly enjoyable.
Before you start filming the movies, what's the thing you get most excited about?
All the Avengers.
All the Avengers,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Does that mean you have to start with I'm starting?
Yeah, just
Okay.
There are too many characters, and even Joss Whedon has said that. There's 11 main characters, and I can't think of another film that applies to. And so I think, yeah, he gives everyone an arc, which is really admirable, but it does also make for a ridiculously overstuffed narrative, which sort of loses its focus sometimes, I think.
Well, they do a great job of sort of weaving every single character in there. I know that's maybe part of the problem, but also I think, you know, there's stuff with Hawkeye, which, you know, he's almost been written off as a bit of a joke character, but in this movie, he's really entertaining.
You know I've seen this before, right? And I still don't know how you do it.
What do you think of Bruce Banner in this one?
I loved him. I thought he was fantastic. Mark Ruffalo's the best Hulk by far. In this movie, we see a lot of him with Natasha, Black Widow. Their kind of relationship is the romantic thread that goes through it. And yeah, I just thought it was done really, really well. Possibly could see a bit more of him, if anything.
I agree. I mean, yeah, because that relationship, it made total sense to me, because especially when you first see them and she's the only one who can kind of talk him down from the Hulk back into Bruce Banner. And it felt like there were a lot of characters talking about them getting together, like, hey, what about you and Natasha? Like, and it felt like I could have done with a bit more of them actually together. Because, yeah, Mark Ruffalo and Scarlett Johansson are pretty amazing together when they actually finally get to act that relationship out. So, yeah.
What did you think of the twins as well? Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, they're the kind of two big new additions. What do you think of those?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were, it's difficult because, again, you've got a cast of 11 characters, and so Quicksilver, to me, felt like a bit of a cipher. Like, I didn't really feel like he had much of a purpose except being very fast and sort of serving various plot machinations. And he was done so well in X-Men Days of Future Past last summer that I think that, you know, they had a bit of an uphill battle with him. But yeah, Scarlet Witch was interesting. I think her mind manipulation powers were pretty interesting. I mean, what did you think of those guys?
The accents were spotty. Possibly a little bit. But yeah, Elizabeth Olsen does excellent sort of hand twirling. Her sort of power manipulation is very funny, I think.
Yes,
just endless twirling. But no, one of my favourite scenes actually was with her and Hawkeye, where he kind of gives her a pep talk and says, you know, once you're out that door, you're an Avenger. And that to me was like one of the great sort of bits where you mentioned earlier how they kind of weave in the character moments with the action. That was kind of mid a massive battle scene. And it kind of, you know, it summed up how well this movie works when it does work.
We can tear them apart.
This wouldn't be a summer blockbuster without endless carnage at the end. There is a lot of that in Avengers. But one thing that I think Joss Whedon's mentioned this before, and a lot of people are picking up on about how it's kind of almost throwing a bit of a dig at Man of Steel. What did you think about this?
Yeah, it's so true, because obviously Man of Steel got the brunt of the sort of, the collateral damage backlash, where people were like, you've got to stop destroying whole cities and you've got to think about the civilians. And so you get lots of lines in this one where people go, we've got to get the civilians out, you've got to avoid collateral damage, which is nice, because Avengers wasn't sort of blameless in that regard. I felt like New York definitely took some casualties at the end there. That's what we thought of Avengers Age of Ultron. I gave it 4 out of 5 on Digital Spy. You can read the full review there, but let us know your thoughts if you agree or disagree, and thanks for watching.